Okay, everyone, welcome to the Sunday night strategy session for February 8th, 2015. If you are looking for the best commentary on the markets, you are in the right place. Okay? All right. So, let's start with upcoming economic reports. Monday, Powell speaking at 4 o'clock. That's after. You got the G20 meetings all day, well, not all day, but it's day one of the G20 meetings, but it's not that big of a deal. Tuesday, you have Locker speaking. You have the JOLTS job openings, mortgage delinquencies. Wednesday, Eurogroup meetings. Thursday, core retail unemployment claims, which is a weekly event. And then Friday, preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment. But, stick around the reds, but if there's no reds, then you can look at oranges. I don't really give any weight to the yellows. Okay, occasionally a yellow will move us, but it's so rare that there's no advantage in looking at them. We still got some pretty good earnings to go, some pretty good releases to go, but nothing that's going to move us. I actually looked through this already. I don't really see anything that's going to be a big deal for moving us. So, yeah, if you're in any stocks that are reporting, it's your duty to make sure you are either hedging them with an option position, or if you're only in options, that's fine. But if you want to hold over an earnings announcement, you are taking your chances. Okay, I don't want to hear, it acted this way, so we knew all this. I have to tell you, one of the, I've just started, I just monitored a room, and I should have known that, because the guy's partner is, whatever. I'm not in the mood to just slam people really. So, because everybody has their faults. But here's a guy who was bragging about Disney, and he basically admitted that he broke all the rules, but he wound up capitalizing, last week or whatever it was. And okay, good for you. So keep doing that. See how you do. And this is one of the owners. This is a moderator. This isn't like just some one of the clients or one of the chat room members that are doing this. This is the guy that's supposed to be leading you along the way. So follow the rules, except I didn't, and I made a lot of money. That's what he said. I'm sorry about all the noise, but the kids are taking showers. That's why Paul usually goes first. So that's why you'll hear it sometimes. So they moved away. So, again, if you want to gamble, I think there's much better places to gamble than the stock market. I love shooting craps. That's my favorite thing to do. I haven't done it in a very long time, but I like playing poker. I like shooting craps, even playing roulette. Much better places than to gamble than on Disney stock. And you know what? Oh, he was right, so rah, rah, rah. But if he was wrong, it would have been, or you probably wouldn't hear about it anymore. Anyway, the market itself still not above the key level that I am watching to suggest that it goes to a new all-time high. I will use IVV because it doesn't have that big tick, but you got this 208.34 number. If we cannot close above that, and now I'm not worried about 208.34. Now I'm worried about last week's high, which is basically Friday's high at 208.72. If we could get above that, then it is suggestive that we go to new highs. And I'm going to tell you this too. The target, if we get above that 208.72, is not just new highs. It's probably this. Because as Paul has said numerous times, he talked to eSignal, and they said this is legitimate. So this is what's known as a probe. And therefore, that would actually be the target. New highs wouldn't just be the target. It would actually be this high would be the target. So anyway, I'm going to give it over to Paul, and Paul's going to take it. I'm going to be back. I will be done by 10 o'clock because Better Call Saul is on at 10 o'clock. And just to let you know, one of the economic events that I forgot on Thursday is it is my 46th birthday on Thursday. I share birthday with Abraham Lincoln. We are two of the greatest presidents to ever walk the face of the earth. So American president.
And my father.
And Dick Schatz is also February 12th. So
Turning 81.
He's going to be 81. Wow. And your husband, Johanna, yeah. Anyway, that's it. I don't have anything else to say right now, but we're going to have announcements pretty soon. We're actually putting together a live event where we're going to
talk for 20 seconds. I got to grab my water.
Okay, so we're going to be putting together a live event very shortly, and it's going to be on this side of the pond, this side of the country. But we're looking to do something very soon. I've been talking to Mike Swanson and a couple of other people. We're trying to put together a real killer get-together, a real killer live workshop. So we'll let you all know about that when it happens. Where are we? Let's see. The organizer, got it. Okay, here is Paul, I believe. You ready, Paul? I made you an organizer, so you should be all go.
Yeah, I'm here.
The Better See Paul show, right? Okay. And your whatchamacallit cam was just on, so try not to pick your nose. Dell Webcam Central. Wow. By the way, the webcam does not record. I just want to let you know that. I was helping somebody else today process their video on GoToWebinar, and they had to record all the live shots they were doing because they thought GoToWebinar was recording it, but they don't. They don't record the webcam, so they had to redo them all. So anyway, that's all. I'll be back. I'll be here. And last week I cut out early on Saturday, so this week I will be here. Make sure everybody gets a stock in. Okay?
Hey, when you went through the economic reports and the earnings, was there anything key for the week?
Four red things. I mean, you got, I'll go over them real quick. You got core retail unemployment on Thursday. You got Eurogroup meetings on Wednesday, and you got preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment. Those are the highly rated ones.
So there's nothing then.
Yeah, I mean, not really anything. And as far as stocks that are reporting, I don't see anything that's going to move. I mean, what's really left? There's a lot of stocks, but I don't see anything that's, reporting that's, oh my goodness, oh wow, we got to watch that. I mean, AOL, if we want to go back to 1999, they report on Wednesday, but that's really, I mean, I'm sure there are others that may move us, but I doubt it. All right? I'll be back.
Look forward to it. Okay. Good Sunday. It feels good to be back on Sunday night instead of last Saturday night. Hope everybody had a good week. When we last left off, I was in Vermont with my middle son, and we ended up staying through the storm last week, which was a phenomenal move on my part because I'm just queuing up some charts. Because we got a truly epic powder day last Monday, and our last run of the day at 2:45 was still in untracked powder. So we had untracked powder almost every single run last Monday. Getting home Tuesday was no bargain, but it was well worth it. All right, let's see. Let's just get out of this. Oops. All right, so last week was an interesting week. The Bulls had a chance. So I was fairly active writing on my blog last week. What the heck is this? Okay. It was a really interesting week. And now that I am good, now we're set there. All right. So as we start Sunday night, the futures are down 0.5% in the ES and 0.5% in the NQ. Not surprising given Friday's reversal. So Friday's reversal is one of the few days where you can't be surprised because a lot of times you will see reversals on a jobs number. So can't say I'm shocked. Although I'm not positioned for the reversal, but I can't say I'm shocked that it reversed. And we probably should see some follow-through based on historical tendencies, which are when you rally into the jobs number and you run higher that morning and then you reverse, you normally see some follow-through selling. Just like on the opposite side, when you sell off into the jobs number and it gaps down, and you see some selling and then it reverses, you normally get some follow-throughs. That's where we are right now. We'll do our normal. We'll run through the indices, yada, yada, yada. I'll make my normal comments. Some of you will argue with me. And then we'll bring Tiny on to do some stocks. So here is, let's start with the Dow. Again, we left off last week with similar comments for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and that is a very sloppy market, meaning this is sloppy to me. Actually, let me do one thing first. Correct. Okay. So this is a really sloppy topping pattern. Friday's reversal. It's not that impressive on the Dow, but it's a reversal nonetheless because we poked above an old high and we closed down. Going into last week, if you recall, here, we looked crummy across the, not crummy, we looked weak across the board, and what I wanted to see was the Dow clean out the stops here. I wanted to see the Dow trade below this low to clean out anybody who had a lot of stops in place. And that happened right away on Monday. But look how beautiful Monday looked. Early we claimed the stops out after this low. We tested the 200-day moving average, and we closed sharply higher on a really nice reversal day. And then we followed through dramatically on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday wasn't so good. Okay, so we come into the week, I'll say, a little bit on the defensive, but I still think that we see all-time highs this month in the Dow. S&P 500, a drop weaker. What don't I like about this chart? Someone tell me what I don't like about this chart. What don't I like about the IVV chart? Scott, it is sloppy, I agree. Ben, yeah, a little dark cloud cover, but something else, something that I wanted. I liked it on the Dow chart, don't like it here. Keep the guesses coming. Give you a couple seconds. And if I lack a little bit of energy, yep, range, but that's true. Keep going. Keep going, lower lows, keep going. Today was a day of my daughter. I took her to a basketball game this morning, and then her pitching lesson after that, and then to get her food after that, and then another basketball game after that, and I'm like, done. No, here, so you guys all have good, I love all your comments, but these aren't what I'm, here's what I don't like. Ready? Maybe that was too hard of a question because you couldn't see the data that I see. What I don't like is the S&P came down but did not fully flush out this low. The Dow did. So it makes it a little sloppier, a little more difficult. And the mid caps obviously didn't come close to flushing any lows out. So they made an all-time high and they closed down. That's not a great sign in the short term, but I think we're going to go above Friday's highs in the mid caps this month as well. And the Russell, same thing. It didn't take out any lows, didn't flush anybody out. I think Russell's going back to all-time highs as well. It's still sloppy, but you need to fully breach the all-time highs and stay there for a couple of days to fully break the backs of the bears, which I do think is coming. And the Qs didn't flush out any low. This is the low you want to see flushed out, and they didn't flush anybody out either. They did nothing. So the Dow, from a construction point of view, the Dow was the index on Monday that I like the best because it fully flushed out the lows and then reversed. Let's look at Europe and emerging markets. Here's Europe, as I've been saying every week. Shockingly, you wouldn't know by listening to the media, but shockingly, Europe is the leading area for 2015. I'm sorry, the leading developed markets for 2015. Europe's trading really well. It's been on a monster run, and still looks good. I think Europe's going higher. You get a little divergence here. Lower highs in the indicator, higher highs, but I think Europe's going to gather itself and head higher. Emerging markets, which I've told you forever that I've been heavily long, I'm still long, and I still like emerging markets. Didn't have a great week, didn't have an awful week. I got fully out of, I sold all of my EPI, which I'd owned from back in here. So I'm now 100% out of EPI. And my guess is if it closes this gap right here, comes down at some point, oops, closes the gap, begins to run, I'll buy it again. But right now I don't own any EPI. I do still own China, FXI. I mean, this day really bothered me. It was Wednesday because we closed the gap and we had a reversal candle, which usually leads to follow through, and we are getting the follow through the downside. But I am still long China, and I remain long the Philippines, which seems like a long time. So those are my three plays. I'm also looking at Thailand as on my hit parade list to own. Let's see anything going on here. Yeah, so, oops. So Thailand is kind of at a testing this trend line for the third time right now. So Thailand is next on my hit parade to buy. One thing I haven't looked at in a while, I'm just pulling it up, not that I love it, but here's Japan. Two ways to look at Japan. Here's the regular ETF, which looks fine, and here is the currency hedged ETF, which looks a little weaker because the yen has gotten stronger. So there's nothing there that's actionable. I just wanted to pull up because I haven't looked at it in a while. Any questions on any of the indices? Any questions on the indices? U.S., Europe, emerging markets? Okay, let's go on. How is the yen stronger with so much money printing? And don't forget, and I'll cover the yen, currencies don't move in straight lines. So those of you guys who have listened to Tiny and I for a long time, you'll know that way up in here, I said the yen was going to go down 50%, and it's down, not getting there, but I think it's going to be down another 50%. Big declines are followed by consolidation. So here's, whoops. So first we decline like that. That was a big decline in here. And then what we do, we bounce back. People said, it's just a pullback. We bounced back, and then we rolled over again. It's a long rollover. And then this is the real wave of recognition, like, holy geez, the yen is done. This is an enormous decline, 30%-ish, with a couple of intervening little rallies along the way. And what I've been saying for the last couple of years, sell any rally in the yen. And then we stabilized for 6 months. Then what happened? Rolled over again on the downside. Oops. And now we're down again. So the yen is now consolidating. This another big decline right now. Eventually, what's going to happen to the yen? Eventually, the yen's going to go lower. But it's 2 steps down, half a step back. Do I also look at individual Euro countries? I do, Joanne. I just don't pull them up here because we cover so much already. But if you've got one in particular, let me know. I'm happy to pull it up. Let's question. Reverse head and shoulders on both IWM and QQQ. Let's pull that up, JN. IW Mary. I do not. You see this as a head and shoulders bottom. I don't. You're talking about this little piece right here, I guess. Shoulder, head, shoulder. It's certainly a consolidation, but there was really no decline to reverse. I'd say it's a consolidation low for sure. And the Qs, I see what you're saying. Shoulder, head, shoulder, or shoulder, head, shoulder. It's really hard for you to call that. For one, they don't really occur with validity in indices, and two, there's no real big decline to reverse. So all I would say to you, JN, is that this certainly is a nice consolidation that should lead to new highs. Okay, let me see other questions. EWG for Joanna. And if U.S. markets make new highs, will they stay up and continue to go higher, or they make new highs and they go lower? Dick, that's a good question. We'll take when and if it happens, I will analyze it in detail. My opinion is that that once we have 5 closes above 18,000, we're going straight to 20,000. That's my opinion. So I do think we're going to go higher, but we'll cover that when we get there. And I'll get to gold, I promise. Would there be new highs without QE or more printing? I think for sure, Ann, because I think those of you who heard me for a while, I'm getting all over the place now, which I hate to do. Oops. But I've been bullish the dollar since March of 2008, when everyone said the dollar was left for dead at 73 and change in the index. I think this chart is the most important chart to watch. I think the reason we're going to 20,000 is because of the dollar. I think people from Japan and from Europe are going to flood capital into our markets simply because of the strong dollar. And that's why I think we're going to have this final bull market surge this year. Let's see. Yeah, Ben, I see the same dark cloud cover you do in the Qs, but I don't think that it's going to be any kind of significant decline. And yeah, Ben, I've said this for years, guys. Please don't drink the Kool-Aid from the imbeciles in media land when you hear that just because the dollar's up, crude or gold has to be down. Look, here's a chart of the dollar, and at the same time, if I can get my fat fingers, the dollar rallied here, and so did gold. They don't always go inverse. So don't get all hopped up on what the idiots are saying, that gold and the dollar can't go up together, or crude oil and the dollar can't go up together. That's nonsense. They can't over long periods, but short term they most certainly can, will, and are. All right, let me get back, and then I promise I'll cover all this stuff. 3 key sectors. Let's do the banks first, which had a huge day end of last week. The banks are, as you know, have frustrated me. I think Right now, they're neutral at best. They had a They had a monster week. Look at this. We came into here's how we finished last week, and I did not like the banks. And then they immediately stuck it in my face and had a nice day on Monday, big day on Tuesday, pause on Wednesday, big day on Thursday, and not a bad day on Friday. So, and the banks are, to me, neutral at best. They're not leading, that's for sure. The transports, they look a little like the Qs. What I like is, as crude is rallying, the transports are not going down. So that's a good sign. Just like when I sold them right here, I sold them because they stopped going up when crude got crushed. Now they're not going down when crude's rallying. So this is one sector is back on my hit parade, and I will look to buy the transports this week, next week. We'll see how they trade. Overall, you rate them as neutral. They're going sideways right now. And lastly, the semis, which I'm fully out of. I had owned the semis in various size, and I am now 100% out of the semis, having sold my balance on Friday. So the semis still don't look bad. They look like the Qs. They look probably neutralist to a little stronger than neutral, but I think I found other things I'd rather own more. So those are the three. Those are my three key sectors. There's no clues there. They look fine. They don't look awful. They don't look great. See how they trade this week. Let's go through the rest of them that are left. Here's software. It looks like a lot of other sectors should pull back and then go higher. Looks like they're also 2,000, frankly. Telecommunications, which is one sector that I've said will be one of my sector picks this year because it's done so poorly lately. And it had a nice week last week in telecom. So they don't move that much, and the whole sector is really Verizon and AT&T, which I own. I have some clients who own AT&T. So it's it's a little better than neutral. Let's see, diversified financials. They definitely did not have a good day on Friday like the banks did. They look a little stronger overall than the banks, but my view, a pair of two, is very neutral. Consumer discretionary, traded great last week again. It came in and just reversed on Monday and took off to all-time highs again. So this is one sector you absolutely, if you're looking for something to play, you got to put. They look very good, and this is a harbinger, I think, of positive things to come in the market. So XLY or its components should be on your list. The retailers, which are part of XLY, are lagged a little bit last week, but they still look good as well. And this is a positive sign for our economy that consumer discretionary is trading pretty decently. Large cap drugs look absolutely fine as well. They're going to all-time highs. I mean, maybe they'll pull back a percent, and then they should go to all-time highs again. Healthcare, which I do own and potentially may add to. I think this is all part of a really bullish consolidation right here. I like flat tops. You've got a flat top here because flat tops are usually exceeded to the upside. So I own healthcare. Maybe it pulls back to last week's low, but I think you could buy it into weakness and watch for a run to all-time highs. And biotech, which if my memory is right, I sold in sum total on Friday. I do not own. Is that true? I don't think I own biotech at all anymore. So I am out of biotech. Why? It's sliding down my ranking list, and also this all-time high is totally rejected by the bears. You get a reversal candle here, bearish engulfing here, an inverted hammer here, and then we're back into the top of the range. It went from being really strongly bullish, not so much anymore. Okay. Whoops. Hold on 1 second. All Some more defensive sectors, IYR, which I've owned all year and most of last year. Here's Monday. I thought it looked really good on Monday. Okay, had a nice one week pullback, beautiful hammer at the 20-day moving average, which I said we should go right back to all-time highs. That's the model. Bullish engulfing on Tuesday. Nice pause on Wednesday. Great day on Thursday. I'm all hopped up on Thursday. I'm thinking, it's going back to all-time highs. Maybe we get a big run. And what happened on Friday? Friday was a horrible day in IYR and in REITs. So I am on guard for a change of trend. If we close below this low right here, then we got some short-term problems. That's the next line in the sand, closing below Monday's low. And that turns the short-term trend to definitely negative, maybe even an intermediate-term trend. Going along with that, my utilities, which I've owned for a while, got absolutely obliterated on Friday. And I will say, much to my surprise, I actually bought more. I bought more on Friday at the close. So I did step up, even though I think we could have a little more weakness, maybe back into here. But I did buy some more XLU on Friday, and I will buy more into weakness because I don't think the rally is done quite yet. So two of the leading sectors, XLU and IYR, got taken to the woodshed on Friday. Here's consumer staples, another defensive sector. Looks a little better than neutral. It's sloppy, but with an upward bias. That's about all I can say. Economically sensitive stuff. Here's industrials. All you can say, folks, is that this is sloppy and it's a sideways consolidation that should resolve itself to the upside. We should see all-time highs. This should be coming. Whether we go down first and then go up, I don't know, but we should see all-time highs in industrials. Materials have really stepped up. They're not on my hit parade. I don't think they're going to be a leadership sector. I think this is some kind of massive topping pattern for materials. But Thursday's action and last week's action caught me by surprise. So I would say they're neutral at best, and I think this looks like a giant topping pattern. So I don't want any part of this. And finally, energy. Let's start with XLE. They had a good week. Can't argue it. They had a good week. I mentioned last week before, I was going to rotate out of OIH into XLE, which I never did. I still own OIH, which on a percentage basis is leading XLE. But energy had a good week. So is this? Tiny and I argued last week. Our prospects for oil, which I'll get to in a minute. So is this the low or is it a low? It's certainly a low. The test is going to be if they get a rally back up above this high, because once you get above this high, you're going to close this gap, and this will be significant overhead resistance right here. But energy in the very short term is a market leader, period. And that's it for sectors. Any questions on sectors before we move to bonds and then gold, oil, and commodities and currencies? Do you see crude oil bounce or reach the low already? All right, I'm going to get to crude oil in a second. And I'm going to get to the 10-year note right now. Let's go to the fixed income market, and we'll start with the 30-year. So you just looking at the chart, clearly you are extended, and this is the first real pullback. You have a divergence here. okay, which signaled a little, possibly some short-term trouble, and now you reach it on Friday. So Friday both, see, the pundits said, whoa, stocks and bonds both can't go down together. Really? Well, Friday, stocks reversed and closed down hard, and so did bonds. So it certainly can happen. And then you're like me, who's heavily long both, and you have a really crummy day. So is this the end of the bull market in bonds? Probably not. This decline should wrap up in the next couple of percent, and then we should see at least a rally back towards the old highs. On a yield basis, here's the 30-year yield, which is the opposite of the bond chart, and you are rallying off of the bottom smartly in yield on the 30-year. 10-year, had a huge day yield-wise on Friday, huge day. So where are we? Could this be the low? Anything is possible. And I remember saying it's possible that this was the low until it wasn't. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. You have a divergence here. Look, right? Higher lows in the indicator, lower lows in price, reversed. The yield are taken off. My sense is that we'll get a little more pop in yields, then they'll roll over, and we'll see if they can retest these successfully or not. Let's go to junk bonds because I am heavily long. Let me just go back to here's the AD line chart, which is really important in this stage in the bull. In an aging bull market, this is a vital chart. You should look at it every week. What's important about this chart? Somebody who pays attention every week. What's so important about? What's important about this chart right here? Yep, you guys are all right. Bottom line is we're making new highs, still going up. It's in an uptrend. Yes, this bull market in stocks is not going to end with the advanced decline lines making all-time highs. That would be a total a couple of 100-plus year precedent setter. This means that you've got good participation in the market. This line is going up. New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line. It's a sign of a really healthy market over the intermediate term, which means buy the dips. Continue to buy the dips. High yield bonds, junk bonds, which I always say are the best canary in the coal mine for the economy and stocks. This whole sell-off was caused by the energy disaster, right? So we had a harsh snapback, and now we're back to a nice bull market, which I've said I've been long JNK for a long while, since sometime in December. I think I bought it in here maybe. I can't recall. Somewhere in the mid-38s I bought it. And I'm happily still long. So will this continue? I think it's got some more pop left in it. Will it go back to all-time highs? I don't believe so. So I think this is the rally to enjoy before we roll over again. On a fund standpoint, I do own this fund, the PIMCO High Yield Fund, which does not look bad. I mean, it's up sharply from the bottom, and this has been acting as good as any high yield instrument out there. So that's high yield. There's a question. MLPs, I'll get to in a second. If TNX fills the gap end of December, beginning January, will it be more convincing that it's moving higher? Let's go take a look. No, end of December. Oh, you mean the gap in here, Joanna? No, I don't think that doesn't matter to me. They're tiny gaps, and they're almost filled anyway. I want to see after this rally in yields ends how we react down here, if we get down here again. MLPs. So MLPs, I own this one for full disclosure. But, you know, that's a crummy chart because of the big dividends. Hold on a second. I'll pull up the MLP for you. So this is the JP Morgan ETF. I own it. It's a core holding in my dividend program, which means I own it forever. How does it look? Double bottom here. I think it should have more upside to it. I think you've got a pretty good run coming of 10%-ish, at least. So I do like the MLPs still. 16% of junk bonds last year invested in oil drillers. Ben, so I've seen various reports. I'm not sure I agree. I think 16% is too low. I think there's a higher. Oh, oil drillers. Okay, that's right. Because in the whole energy space, you've got, I think, a third of all the junk bond industry is in the energy space. And that's why. So my comment is that's why you saw this monster decline in JNK. It's all oil based. So the fact that JNK is bouncing back so well, and so is the plain vanilla funds like PHYDX, I think that's bullish. I think that the market senses that the oil collapse is played out, even if it goes a little bit lower. But I think they sense that the companies are all not going to default in mass. That's my opinion anyway. All right, let's go to crude. Why are we talking about crude oil? Well, the crude and natural gas. So here's crude. It's so funny. This rally looks like nothing because of how dramatic the decline is. Here's the bottom line in crude, and I'll say this for a while. We should have more upside. This should not be the only bounce we get. The bounce should, whether this was the low or just a pause, at some point we should bounce, into here before, and maybe we would go down here later. I don't know, but crude should have a bounce. I mean, as I said this for several months, smart money has been locked and loaded and wrong on the long side. They are definitely long and wrong, and I've been wrong too on crude. I bought crude too early too. I love this right here, and guess what? Wrong. It happens. Natty gas, same thing. Smart money's been locked and loaded long. We talked about it a couple of times, and I'll repeat what I've said. You can absolutely buy after this hammer, no problem. And I said last week you can buy natural gas as long as you agree to sell if we close at new lows. You cannot go home long a close at new lows. But you can absolutely go home long right now. And I said the same thing in the last couple of weeks. Oh, my God, I pulled up copper instead of natty gas. So copper, okay, there you go. So my apologies. I just realized I was looking at copper futures. So that's what I think about copper. The longs, smart money has been locked and loaded long in copper too forever. They've been wrong. They're usually not wrong in the long term, but they've been wrong here. Copper, I think, is going higher. If I'm wrong, you got to get out below here. Now let's go to natty gas. Natty gas, same thing. Everyone's the smart money's long. They've been wrong. I would not say to get long this just yet. Wait for some kind of reversal or divergence. You do not have it yet in natty gas. Let me go look at the question window. Let's see. Volume has been high according to TradeStation charts. Volume of oil. I'm not sure. Well, volume is really high on e-signals charts too. Frankly, I've never studied the volume in commodities on TradeStation or e-signal, so I'm not even sure if this is what kind of volume this is. Let's see. Oh, Jan, thank you. I'm looking at copper. Thank you. Yep, you're right. My bus. Richard said natty gas is 3% higher today. Interesting. Still don't, but for me, I'd rather play copper or oil than natty gas. I don't like this low here. Look, this low here, there's no substance to it. We're just snapping back if that's what's happening. All right, let's go to, did I miss any questions? No. Let's go to gold, which I already briefly spoke about. Gold had an awful day on Friday, and because the dollar was very, very, very strong. You know, red candles in gold usually do not mark the bottom, right? Big red candles in gold typically don't mark the low. It normally happens a day or a week later. So I don't think this is the low in gold. I think you got to wait, have a little patience. This has the makings of a nice little bottom. This you can call it a head and shoulder, neckline, and now this pullback is back to the neckline, if you will. So I think you got to wait on gold if you're a bull. If you're a bear, I think you got to wait too. I would not get short on a big red candle day either. The gold miners, I sold everything I had left on Friday on the big down day. Finito, done. I bought them here. I sold some here. I bought some more here. I may have sold a little bit here, but whatever I left, I got out Friday. That's it for gold. The dollar we covered. I'll be bullish until maybe the euro goes, either euro gets back to 100 or the euro begins to break apart. I'll be bullish on the dollar. And laughing at Tom Brady's wife, Giselle, who, not because she doesn't have $100 million, but because she wanted to get paid in euros when euro was 156. Dollar still looks good. I like it's consolidating really bullishly. High-level consolidation. This is really bullish. I wouldn't mind if it consolidated a little longer, but it may not. It may just be ready to percolate again. The euro looks like garbage. Smart money is locked and loaded long in the euro, and they've been wrong, and it does not look good. This pattern does not look that great. Just pointing it out. And the yen, again, short any rally, because the yen, in my view, probably goes down 50% from here again. Let me see anything in the loonie. Nah. The pound. Nah. Okay, let's see. What about silver? It kind of looks like maybe it looks a little weaker than gold. I mean, this is a big down day. We consolidated, we bounced a little bit, and now we're headed down. I mean, silver looks like it wants to go lower. I would not want to be long silver. Let's see, we cover bonds, currencies. So let's finish up, and then I'll bring Tiny back with a little some of the ag currencies. See how they look. Wheat. So wheat, kind of a little bit of reversal, not a classic one, but we're bouncing back. I don't know. No divergence. Looks like it should bounce a little bit. I don't really have a strong opinion on wheat. I wouldn't trade it right here. Corn. Corn looks a little better. Why? You got some rejection of the bears on the downside, couple little hammers, big up day on Tuesday, and I love this little tight consolidation here. It's coiling up. It should resolve itself, corn, to the upside. Should. Beans is another one where you've got smart monies all locked and loaded to the long side. I mean, beans is another one where I after last week, I think you're going to resolve yourself to the upside. And when I say all this, I mean, it's okay to be bullish and to buy it. Just remember to find your point when you're wrong. So if it closes below the lows last week, you got to get out. Don't hope and pray and wait. Just get out. We'll close with, here's sugar. Nothing, looks garbage. Going lower. Cocoa. Nothing, no opinion on cocoa. Coffee. Nothing, no opinion, doesn't look good. And cotton, continuing a very long base. Cotton looks the most interesting over the long term. Whoops. For those of you guys who trade cotton, if I can get my fat fingers in the weekly chart, it's percolating, that's for sure, but I'd rather see it move sideways for a longer period of time. Oops. And I will take any questions now. Let's see, according to Finviz, nat gas jump. Okay. What about question is about all my different stochastics levels. In a different class, Tiny and I will give away our stochastic secret level. I'm kidding. There's no such thing as secret levels. I just chose 14. I use a 5-3-3, a 14-6-3, a 26-3, and a 56-3. There's nothing really significant. I just like the different time periods and the smoothing. I look at stochastics for divergences, and I look at it for overbought and oversold in a range. In a really strong market, like crude, stochastics got oversold when crude was 100, and they never got overbought again, and stayed oversold pretty much the whole. This is the first time the stochastics are getting back towards overbought. Let's see. Do I ever, Scott? I have never sold puts on any of the soft commodities. Sorry. I mean, to me, you would sell them if implied vol was really outside the normal range, and only if you're an experienced option seller and have a really good risk management plan in place in case they collapse. You don't get left holding the bag. Edward asked about the New Zealand dollar. So what the heck is the symbol? Edward, I don't remember this. I'll have Tiny photo because I remember the symbol on eSignal. Any other questions, comments?
NZ is New Zealand dollar, I think. Try NZ.
On eSignal?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think so.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
What?
No, okay. Oh, there it is. $ NZD, Edward says.
I
don't think so either. Well,
I don't think.
No, you're wrong. You put an extra thing in.
Yeah, I know.
Who knows what you... Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh. That's an odd naming convention. Just price alone. Hold on. I want to take a look at. I want to look at a longer term view. Yeah. So to me, the time to really get involved was here, because this hammer ran all the stops out for almost a month. And then they took off to the other side of the range, which happens so often. It still looks like it's an uptrend. I hate this big red reversal candle here, so I don't think I have a strong opinion, but I would have loved it coming out of this pattern, right there. That was the time, that hammer. That means if you're wrong, your stop is 126.62 on a close. and I probably would have said you get out on this big red day because it's getting a little sloppy now. I would say in the short term, it looks like it wants to bounce. You got 3 days, but I wouldn't hang my hat on that one. If I could go long or short, one thing this week, what would it be? Scott, we lost sound? If I could go along if I could go along one thing, or short one thing this week, what would it be? Well, I'm going to the UConn women against South Carolina tomorrow night, number 1 versus number 2, so I'd be long UConn women against South Carolina. I would definitely be long bourbon at the liquor store because my supply is out, so I need to go to the liquor store. And in the markets, I'm just trying to stall. What would I want to be long this week? That's a really tough question. I'll take a contrarian play and say TLT. I don't know. It is a tough one. I guess I'd take a little shot with TLT to the long side, but I think this week's going to be a dichotomy. I think what happens early in the week is going to be reversed the second half of the week. So I think it's hard to take one position for the week, unless, Tiny, you have a strong opinion. Can you short John Kerry? I wanted to short cigars and poker and all that nonsense too. Yeah, Ben Feb. Is this is not OE? It is OE. Yeah, Feb options expiration is no. It's only the second Friday of the month. OE, I think, is the 20th. Oh, rollover. Sorry. Yeah, I don't. That doesn't have. That won't impact me.
What rollover? There's no not index futures rollover.
No, you're talking about I think the daily stuff. I'm sorry, the weekly options you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know, Tiny, you love anything for the week?
A little nervous the way we're looking now because we tried to break out Friday, but it looks like we could have hooked it here, and if we hook it, means we're going to go all the way back down to the bottom of the range again. So,
all the way down is only a 3-day move.
Right. No, it could be a 1-day move with the way we move. And I gave one stock out in my video, ANAC. I'm kind of liking that one. That's a nice little bull flag. But otherwise, no, I don't really. It's a trader's market. You got to see what's what.
All right. Any other questions? Last call. All right. Rich, go Huskies.
Screw them Huskies. All right, so one stock per person, please, until everybody goes, and then I ask for more. Give everybody a chance. If you put more than one stock in, I'm just going to ignore it, and I'm just going to ignore everything you ask. So, just got to be fair. That's all.
Life's not fair, though.
Life isn't fair. So go ahead, just shoot them all out, and I'll get them.
Being married to you's not fair.
Better Call Saul on at 10 o'clock tonight. Don't forget.
I don't watch that.
It's brand new.
Never heard. I've heard of it. Never watched it. Oh, today's the first episode?
Yeah, tomorrow night. It's a 2-day premiere.
I'm going to go return emails. Clear out my email box.
All right.
Get ready for the snow day tomorrow.
Not going to snow here. It's going to be 40 down here.
All right, here it's crummy already. Vermont, we got 4 feet already this month, and they're talking 18 to 24 in this storm.
Nice.
Yeah, amazing.
You choose to live there instead of Florida.
Yep. Real men hang out in Vermont, in that socialist state.
The channel at AMC it's on, Maxine.
There must be some award show on tonight. I can hear my daughter's yelling about the outfits people are wearing.
Grammys tonight.
Oh, Grammys. Okay. Yeah, Jay, I was supposed to go to Kirkwood early next month, but now it's not worth it. They got my buddy lives at his 23-inch base at Kirkwood. Scott, I can promise you one thing, buddy. There is no shot. I got a better shot of being 6 feet tall than living in Florida the last 30 years of my life. That's my most hated state in the country. No offense to anybody in Florida. But the topography drives me crazy. I can't stand the people drive down there. Too much traffic. So I don't know where we're going to go. And who wants me anyway in their state? Maybe Arizona. See where my kids end up.
I want to move to Missouri or Mississippi.
Connecticut. I live in Connecticut, Edward. I've always lived in Connecticut, except when I worked in Wall Street. Where would you go to? Missouri?
Missouri, Mississippi.
You're like Laura Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas.
Why?
Why not? It's nice living down there.
Edward, Connecticut is the worst state in the country economically, fiscally, and just about every other good measure.
The pizza.
Yeah, right. Good pizza. We suck, our state. It's the most backward-ass state for business.
Arkansas, there are no Jews in Arkansas. Really?
Well, Tiny's not Jewish anymore either.
Yeah, I gave it up. I gave up being Jewish for Lent.
But I'm being Jewish for both of us.
Oh, Louisiana's worse, Ben? But I heard you could carry a sidearm in Louisiana.
Dude, you don't leave your house. What do you care?
Well, I leave my house a couple of minutes a day. I mean, I have to pick up the kids. Yeah, Georgia, they big on guns in Georgia, too. They like to carry guns in Georgia.
Or Texas.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it. I'm going to start with the stocks.
All right, later, dude.
Okay. Last ones. Come on, get them in. Yeah, I'm thinking of New Mexico, too. I had a aunt move to New Mexico. Land of disenchantment. Four, 3, 2. Okay, let's go. Towel, so I thought that was a symbol. Euro, looks like it's a bear flag. Looks like it's going to go lower. CAG, looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. Looks more bullish than bearish, but for now it's in this consolidation here, so it's going to have to break, but it is consolidating up at the highs. NM, is that a symbol? Or yeah, NM, okay. I mean, yeah, it could be bottoming out here, so we want to watch that. GoPro, man, it looks lower to me. It's got to get through, this is like the middle of that consolidation, so it's at 41, 42, 43, what is it? It's 43s. So if it gets through 43s, it's probably going to go to a new low, new all-time low. Gilead, 200-day moving average gives way. Then this low, could come into play here, right above 85s. SLV is silver. It held the 50-day moving average, but if it doesn't bounce here, then it could go right back into this muck over here. You know, the middle of this range here, 1540s, whatever it is, right? LNG. Yeah, this is an interesting one. You know, I love stocks that are doing this, that are consolidating. They're a pain in the butt to trade while they're doing this, but they're going to release one way or the other. So TTYK, nope, not working. Okay, thank you. I don't even know what TTYK means. Okay, so maybe it's something. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Here we go. LNCO. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, this one was nice. I think didn't we talk about this last week? Looks familiar. But it's a nice breakout. I think it's overbought. So I'd like to see a pause here, but yeah, this could be bottoming here. It'd be nice if it made it all the way back to this high, huh? But I'd wait for a pause. It's overbought now. Definitely overbought now. What companies, if any, would be good for 3D printing? Oh boy, I forgot the 3D printing stocks. I used to know them, but I forgot them. If anybody has them, you can list them. You can list all of them in a row too, if you want to do that. FCS. Yeah, see if it holds a 200-day and gets a rotation off of it. RIG. Yeah, I mean, I like this. You know, I can't believe RIG is $18. I really just can't believe this. It's really only $18. It's like amazing. Yeah, a nice little coil here. I love these patterns when they're set up right here because you know where you're wrong right away. You got to see upside release. To me, it looks like it wants to go higher, but I want to wait for confirmation. SC needs to relax for a little bit. Needs to calm down a little bit. It's a little too volatile. NBG, the National Bank of Greece, this looks lower to me. Not just because all the turmoil in Greece. It's in a steady downtrend. It looks like it's coming out of a bear flag. CY, yeah, it's consolidating at the high, so it's not looking terrible. MS, yeah, I mean, it's got to get over the 50-day. I did this in my videos, MS and GS. They got to get over their 50-day moving average to get going. Line, yeah, Line is, okay, so this is the stock I was looking at before. I guess they look familiar than the last one that looked like it was Linco. Well, they're the same company. No, they're not, right? No. Yeah, they look real similar, don't they? Same thing, breakout here, wait for a pause or a pullback. Data, yeah, needs to rest. It needs to consolidate for a little bit. I hate jumping in stuff like this that's overbought like this. TJX, looks like this wants to go higher. There's a nice looking pattern here. It's got to break this trend line. See if it'll break this trend line. MBT, give it a little bit. May need some time. NEOG, yeah, I like this one too. Looks like a pretty decent setup. See if it could break out here. Dow Chemical, watch the 200-day, then talk to me. It's overbought on the short term here. But let's see. SC, did we do that already? Yeah, no, I can't remember. But yeah, SC looks like one that has a volatility on it. The Loonie you want to look at. Yeah, I mean, it's consolidating here. This is the dollar. This is the dollar versus the Canadian dollar. Looks like it wants to, do that. Nice bull flag. And what about the Aussie dollar, too? AUD, USD. Looks lower. Looks lower to me. Let's see if we got the 3D stocks. Okay, here's the 3D stocks. DDD, right, that's it. DDD. Yeah, no, the bloom is off the rose on these. I mean, look at this thing. Yeah, this looks lower. Yeah, the 3D printing craze was yet another bubble, as can be seen here. I mean, look, this was an awesome buy right here. That was an awesome buy, okay? And, you know, great. If you got that, great. Now, looks like it's lower. And SSYS looks like it's getting cracked too. XONE, no, looks atrocious. Oh, Line and Linco are the same company. Okay. That's why they look familiar. King? Did you say King, really? Okay. Consolidating here. Looks weak, but the consolidation means you can watch either way, but it looks to me like it would rather go lower than higher. Oh, Onvo is another one. Is another 3D? Really? It doesn't look too hot either. But boy, this DDD, wow. It looks like crap. It really does. All right. That's Pink Sheets, okay, and then Hewlett-Packard too. But, you know, they're not officially a 3D printing. You know, they're not only 3D printing. Some of these are really like only or the majority 3D printing. All right, any other stocks? Let me know. Let me have them. We still got time here. It's only 9/11. Oh, yeah, Apple. How about Apple and Amazon? Well, I go over them in the video, but Nike doesn't look terrible, but below 90, I'm going to start asking questions because that's this recent high. But right now, it doesn't look terrible. Oh, you did, Johanna? I must have missed it. I'm sorry. CY? Yeah, it looks okay. I mean, yeah, I don't like this 3 drives to a top. 1, 2, 3. You see these 3 pushes up? Not really a big fan of that. But it doesn't look like it's broken yet. AA. Yeah, a nice break to the upside here, but it needs a little work. LL till TC. Yeah, I want to see if it can get above here. If it can't get above here, then, you know, talk to me after it can break out from here. Jump across the creek. For those of you who know what that means. AAL looks lower. It looks like it's consolidating here. But again, we're still above the 200-day, but it doesn't really look good. Gene. Yeah, this is a weird one, huh? So, nice pop to the upside. Okay, Clay. Nice to the upside here. And consolidating, see if it continues. Love, Southwest Airlines. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, if oil stays down, the airlines should prosper. Who knows if they will, but they should. OPK, sorry, typed in the wrong one. Yeah, I mean, look, it's very overbought. You know, I don't like these kind of plays, so I like to wait for a pause. But this is the kind of thing that you would watch for a pullback and look to grab the pullback. That's what you would look to do. What does OPCO do? OPCO Health, I'm assuming it's biotech or something. What do? They must do something. The DP looks terrible. Maybe bottoming, but, you know, I can't guess. I can't guess on that. EXXI, coming off its bottom as well. You know, doesn't look great. I would give it a little bit of time. IPCC, yeah, this is sloppy. I don't like the way that this looks, but it is trying. So I wouldn't be shorting it in here, but I'm not so sure if this is the best spot to jump in. Paychecks, again, this looks like the same chart almost, right? I mean, it's just like a V kind of reversal. I like to see a pause. Okay, OPCO is a multinational pharmaceutical diagnostics company. It's a drug company. Okay. TQQQ, I mean, it's just the ultra share. Q's looks like a bull flag, or looks like it wants to try higher. Bank of America, yeah, it's got to get over the 50-day, right? Right now it's stuck between the 250 days. So, you know, I don't like moves like this that just shoot up like this. What are the futures doing? Down 10, yeah. I mean, I'm a little nervous about this because we couldn't hold the break. We could rotate back down and keep doing this, you know. USG, too sloppy for me. SD, again, wait for a pause here. It's overbought. It's overbought on the short term. Legg Mason, yeah, this is nice. Actually, this is one of the leaders, doing better than Goldman and Morgan. LM, wait for a pullback though. This candle up here is not nice. Usually it's indecision. It's a sign of indecision. Appalicious, yeah, Appalicious is up by the highs, but it has a small wedge here, so it could be due a rest. But this is a powerful stock, very powerful stock. Amazon got off its butt as well. I want to wait for a pause here on Amazon though. I do not want to chase this. Googleicious. I love Googleicious now because it has the L at the end, so you could call it Googleicious. Yay, Googleicious. All right, it's coiled up. It has the 200-day. It's below the 200-day, so it's not a lock that it's going to go higher, but I want to watch to see if it goes one way or the other here. Starbucks. Yeah, it needs to consolidate. I'm not chasing this up here. I want to see a nice pattern. WETF, yes, a little sloppy, but see if this forms a pattern of some sort as well. But it looks higher. It has good momentum. LinkedIn's got a rest. I mean, look at this large range candle. And remember, you have to count the gap too. So this is the range of LinkedIn on Friday, right? Is that large yellow line. I'll make it a different color. That large pink line is the entire range. You got to count the gap. So to me, yeah, I'm not, I want to see if it digests a little bit. All right. I will get out the recording of this as soon as possible. Thanks as always for joining us today. And I will see you all next week, 8 o'clock sharp. Thanks for the love. Take care.